Story 1. Emile showed up at our home at 5 a.m. to tell my hubby to drive her to her job interview. I've had a feeling that my mother-in-law has been a bit jealous lately, especially since we just had another baby. Usually on Saturdays, my husband likes to spend some time with his mom while I get a break and take care of the kids during their activities. I never had an issue with this, as he always prioritizes our family over his mom. But now, with a newborn, a toddler, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old to look after, things are pretty hectic. So those Saturday visits have stopped. We're still trying to figure out a new routine with all the chaos, and honestly, I don't think it's unreasonable. Apparently, Maya Mile thinks I'm the bad guy here, assuming I've deliberately planned all this and that I need to be punished for it. I've tried to be diplomatic and told her that she's welcome to visit the house from time to time, but she needs to check with us first before showing up. She ignored that request, probably because she didn't want to ask and because she's not a fan of my husband giving attention to anyone but her. In fact, I think if it were up to her, my husband would have gotten a vasectomy years ago. That was all about a week ago, and honestly, it's been a nice week without dealing with her. But then, this morning at 5 a.m., she showed up at our door, repeatedly calling our phones, hoping someone would get up to see her. We had a newborn and a toddler in our room, and we were just trying to get a few more minutes of sleep before they woke up. But Emile wasn't having any of it. She kept calling us, and after we answered the first call, we didn't pick up the rest. She wanted my husband to drive her to her job interview in another city because she didn't want to drive herself. Let me explain. It's a 2-hour drive each way, and her interview was at 9 a.m. How did she expect him to get back in time for the kids' school run? Oh, right, she didn't. This was the first time we even heard she had an interview, so I'm pretty sure she just showed up unannounced, thinking my husband would automatically agree to help her. She stood outside for half an hour, calling and calling, until my husband finally got up, got dressed, and left. I was furious, thinking he had caved and was taking her to her interview. But 20 minutes later, he was back home and back in bed. Turns out, he drove her to the bus station, dropped her off, and told her to figure out the rest of the journey herself. She hasn't come back yet, but I can already feel a storm brewing. Comment 1. That was the perfect response. Does she expect him to drive her to work if she gets the job? Comment 2. Impressive, very, very impressive. Husband has his priorities straight. JustNoMil was probably mad as a wet hen, and that is just too bad. If she did not learn her lesson, block her on your phone. No reason for her to call you and interrupt your precious sleep or disturb your day. I hope Hubs will just hang up if she calls to yell at him. She needs to be trained to first, mind her own business, second, stay out of yours. If she comes uninvited, never answer. Train your kids to not answer the door. They are to let people in only if you or Hubs gives the okay. Comment 3. Showing up to anyone's house at 5 a.m. on a Saturday is inconsiderate. Showing up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday to a home with a newborn and toddler is intentionally harmful. I would be tempted to tell her never to come back. Story 2. Update. Shitstorm blew right past my husband. I became the target. Just to clarify, I have a sister-in-law, SL, whom my MIL tells everything to. MIL mentioned to SL about a job opening and how she got a call back for an interview. 2 days before the interview, she asked SL to drive her there, but SL turned her down because she had her own schedule to deal with. She has to start work at 9 a.m. MIL then assumed my husband would just step in and do it instead. As for the car ride to the bus station, there was no conversation. My husband told her to get in the car, but they didn't speak at all. Apparently, when she got in, she didn't even thank him. When they got to the bus station, he just told her to get out. Her face was apparently priceless, like what the hell. So, he told her that if she couldn't drive herself, she better get used to public transport. He had to get out of the car, walk around to her side, open the door, and told her if she wanted to make a good impression, she needed to leave now. Otherwise, she'd look like a fool. She sat there for a minute, said nothing, and then left. I'm not sure when she came back yesterday, but she didn't stop by or call. This morning, I got a text from her that went like this. Emil, well, I won't be going to that job, even though they offered it to me. Me, oh yeah? Why is that? Emil, I told them I have no means of getting there. Me, you have a car, don't you? What's the point of it just sitting in your driveway if you won't use it? You asked Isael to take you. She turned you down, then showed up at my house with sleeping kids, 2 under 3, and demanded my husband take you. Emil, you have a newborn. When I had both my son and daughter, I was awake all night, so I assumed you were both awake too. Me, we can still sleep at night, Emil. It's a thing. We're more alert because of the newborn, but that doesn't excuse you for showing up unannounced. Emil, well, I don't like long car rides. Me, then don't apply for a job in another city. You have a car that works, there's school runs, activities for the kids, and my husband's job. How did you expect him to find time to drive you? Plus, I already told you how we'd go about this, how you could see your son and be a grandma, but clearly, you didn't like that idea. Emil, this is ridiculous. Me, it is ridiculous. Don't get defensive or expect sympathy when you're being confronted for your own actions. You shouldn't expect everyone to bend over backward for you to get your way. If you can't be reasonable, don't expect to stay in our lives. You keep acting like my husband should put you first, and that's going to cause problems in our marriage. I won't let you interfere with our family anymore. Get your priorities straight. If you want to keep in touch, figure yourself out, and take until the end of the month to think about it. We'll check in next month. If you can't see where we're coming from, don't expect to be invited to Christmas or any birthdays. And that's it. She's completely ignored my husband now, probably because she thought she had the upper hand on me. I'm sorry if anyone expected a different response, but I was just trying to keep things short and to the point. She pissed me off within minutes, though. So, it's a timeout for her, and we're hoping she changes. If she doesn't, we'll probably go and see. My husband is on the same page. It feels like a success for me, anyway. Thanks to everyone for your comments. I had a good laugh reading them, especially about the bus station incident. My husband walks around with a smirk on his face now, and it cracks me up. I think he's still thinking about it, which makes me laugh even more. Comment 1. I'm so confused about her response about having a newborn, which means that you guys should have been awake because you would have been up all night too. Like, where's the logic in that? Oh, they've been up all night, are severely sleep deprived, so I'll just show up and demand to be driven to somewhere I could totally drive myself to, but don't feel like it. I know. JNs don't use logic, but my head is spinning by her responses here. I still highly recommend sending her a link to a local therapist. Comment 2. Wait. What was her plan to begin with then? Did she seriously expect your husband to drive her to the next city every morning and evening? Comment 3. The fact that you didn't go round her house every 5 a.m. for the next 2 weeks and ring the shit out of her doorbell shows you have incredible restraint. You did the right thing. Comment 4. She was expecting DH to drive to and from her job if she took it. Is she delusional? I guess so. Story 3. Emile thinks NC means NC with me, still contacts my husband like there's an emergency, but really to invite him to Christmas. But of course, it was too good to be true. She's now acting like there's no contact, NC, with her, just with me. A couple of months ago, after our little issue, my husband sent her a long letter explaining that we all needed a break from her. The letter clearly stated that all of us were going NC until further notice and that she wouldn't be able to pull any more stunts like she had in the past. We made it clear she couldn't just waltz back into our lives whenever she felt like it. We said we'd reach out to her when we were ready to talk, but only if she took responsibility for her actions and apologized. But Christmas was approaching, and suddenly, she got anxious about not seeing her son or grandkids. Funny how she cares now. So, she calls him out of the blue, knowing exactly when he'd be at work and I wouldn't be around. His schedule has been the same for 8 years, so she knows the drill. She tried to make it seem urgent, like she needed his help for something important. But there was no emergency. Her hot water was acting up, and even though my husband couldn't help, he didn't know anything about plumbing. He told her to call the water company. She stalled, asking him repeatedly for the number, even though he didn't know what company she was with. He told her to figure it out herself. Then, she tried to change the subject and ask if he and the kids would visit her for Christmas. My husband shut that down immediately and reminded her that we were still NC. She tried to argue that NC was just with me, but he corrected her and made it clear it was for all of us. At that point, her attitude shifted, and she started screaming at him about how vicious I am and how I've turned him against her. My husband just laughed and hung up. She's really struggling to get her way, and she knows it. Comment 1. It seems like you're the only one who thinks your husband is NC with his mother. Answering calls and talking abui water heaters and answering questions is the opposite of NC. Having a conversation is the opposite of NC. Comment 2. If you guys are NC, husband shouldn't have called her / talked to her at all. If she has an emergency, she can call 911/emergency services. If DH is really worried about her, next time he can contact a different family member to check in on her. However, this will still prove to her that he is responding to her contact, which means she will have effectively gotten around the NC again. NC is for you both, not for her. No contact means nothing. You are a black hole of communication. Anything that comes your way disappears without response. No responses to anything that comes from MIL or on behalf of MIL. Giving in just shows her exactly what button she needs to press to get the attention she wants. Comment 3. NC means all communication. If he's talking to her, he isn't NC. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.